pirates, ghosts, and a box office bomb for Valentine's Day. I'm Israel Wright, and this is your First Formation. All right, let's just get this out of the way. This movie's gonna suck.
A week ago, I spent my life racing against time.
I'm gonna help you out today, okay?
Trying to save people who were running out of it.
Jackie!
Until one moment.
Yeah, you almost ran me over.
You don't think this is weird? How we're all connected?
He can see into the future.
He's trying to change what happens. Julia, get down!
I can remember a time in my young life when watching a superhero movie trailer didn't make me angry. This movie trailer made me angry. Madam Web is coming out this week, and it just looks bad. It looks like, well, it looks like a Sony superhero movie, I guess. These days, Sony does not have a very good track record for me when it comes to films. Dakota Johnson, she's a fine actor, but this movie, it looks like one of those incubators. You know, it looks like an incubator movie. You know, Disney does this a lot where the show or the movie exists purely to introduce other characters that they can then give their own shows and own movies. So Dakota Johnson plays Madam Web. She's a paramedic, and then she bumps her head and she gets powers to tell the future or something like that. It's just so cliche. My mom was studying spiders in the Amazon, and now this guy who was with her, now he looks kind of like a dark Spider-Man who's going around wanting to kill these women who are going to become amazing spider women, which is just, you know, just so typical of the patriarchy these days. But it looks, I'm not excited for it. I don't know if you're excited for it. Is anybody excited for it? Based on what I've heard, that is not the case. And releasing on Valentine's Day, that's an interesting choice for a movie release of this nature. I mean, I know it worked for Deadpool, but that was a very, very unique kind of film, and there was a whole marketing plan behind it, and it had its own flavor. This is not that movie. I don't know who they're expecting to go and see this film. Maybe nerd women with their nerd boyfriends, or just people who are just the most diehard Spider-Man, Spider-Verse fans. I'm not really sure. I'm just confused and angry, and I don't like it. So if anybody out there, if you go and see Madam Web, please come back and tell me what you think, because I'm not going to go see this movie. I would hate watch this movie, actually. I would pay money to hate watch this, and just so I could come back on this channel and bring you my review of Madam Web, which, you know what? Hey, maybe, just maybe, that'll happen. All right, I got an AMC Movie Pass. Don't think I won't. Up next, Skull and Bones had its open beta period, and it's coming out this week.
Fighting under our own flag, we will take what's ours. Together, we will take on the world.
So they got me right away. Skull and Bones is an open world exploration, adventure, action video game coming out that's been delayed quite a while. I remember hearing about this game a long time ago, and it looks like they're finally going to release it. The only Assassin's Creed game I've ever played has been Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and being out on the open seas, fighting against other ships, fighting against forts, singing the sea shanties, that was the best part of that game. I mean, that I would have done that only, and it looks like that's what you get to do here. So very detailed. I watched a couple videos about it. It looks like they're really going for something pretty epic. It's going to be $60, which I don't like that. I don't like Ubisoft. Ubisoft? Ubisoft. Is it Ubisoft or Ubisoft? Ubisoft kind of sounds like an insult. Ubisoft. I don't like Ubisoft charging $60 for a game when one of their executives just recently made a comment about how players need to get used to not owning their games. That's a big problem for me. That really rubs me the wrong way. We got to do something about this whole digital media age where, I don't know, I guess we just all click the agree button whenever we buy a game or whatever, whenever we sign on to a service, that we don't actually own the games that we buy. I understand being on a subscription service like Xbox Game Pass or a movie service, television service like Netflix, I get that. But when I pay $60 for a game, that's my game. I own it, okay? And so maybe you can throw a few comments in there and see what we can do about it. Maybe we got to boycott this game. I don't know. But looks like it could be fun. Looks like it could be pretty epic. You're building your way up from nothing, a nobody, and you're trying to become the most revered and feared pirate on the 7 seas. And let me just say this. They better have sea shanties. You better be singing What Would You Do with a Drunken Sailor early in the morning out on the open sea. And I don't know. I'm very tempted, but maybe I'll wait for a couple of reviews to come back before checking out Skull and Bones, which comes out this week. Up next, I got a game that I haven't heard too many people talking about. It's Banishers: Ghosts of New Eden.
The wall between the living and the dead is under threat. You, it seems, have a part to play.
Our fate are in the hands of others now.
This nightmare chose New Eden for a reason.
I'll do whatever I can to help.
If help we can, the nightmare will end. And Red and I shall do the ending.
I don't know if you've ever had this experience, but sometimes you're at a certain point in your life. I don't know what exactly the circumstances are. Where maybe you're at a certain place in your mind and in your life, but a game will come along and it'll just kind of grab you. And that's kind of what Ghosts of New Eden is for me. This Banishers game, I saw a trailer for a little while ago, and it just kind of caught my attention. It looks like it takes place in colonial America, like 1600s style. You're this Scottish guy, Red, and you've got this partner, Antia. Antia is her name. You got Red and Antia. They are lovers, but Antia is a ghost, and Red is what's called a banisher. Basically, people are being haunted by ghosts or different kind of weird spirits, and they're the ones that come in. They're like the Ghostbusters. They come in and they bust some ghost heads and they banish them to the unknown, and they're partners. So Red and Antia are partners, and you basically play the game as both of them at the same time. You can switch back and forth. It kind of gets into the combat and the exploration. But there's something about this game that really kind of grabbed my attention. The love story, right? Red and Antia, they were in love, and then she died. They're still connected, and the choices that you make throughout the game have an effect on the outcome. Either they're going to get separated forever at the end of their adventure, or she has a chance to be resurrected, but you gotta kill some people to get there. Combat looks kind of fun. It looks a little bit reminiscent of the new God of War games. You have different combo attacks. Red is actually, he's good against certain types of enemies, and then Antia is good about other types of enemies, so you got to switch back and forth. That seems kind of fun and engaging. And I'm really interested in the colonial America setting. I don't know if there are too many games that do that. I mean, Assassin's Creed 3 is the one that most readily comes to mind. But I'm interested in exploring this world. I'm a big fan of open world action RPGs like God of War, and there are certain aspects of this game that remind me of that. But it could be a lot of fun. I actually think I would like to pick this up. Somebody wants to gift it to me on Steam would also be fine. But Banishers, Ghosts of New Eden, coming out on Tuesday the 13th. And one more thing.
Just one more thing.
Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Listen, if you don't have anybody to hang out with on Valentine's Day, don't sweat it. It's a totally commercialized holiday anyway. It doesn't really mean anything. If you have somebody special in your life, love them every day. all right? Not every day has to be a red letter day, but find little things that you can do to show your spouse or your loved one that you care about them. You don't need a special day like Valentine's Day, all right? Don't go out and don't give in to the capitalistic tendencies of Valentine's Day. Just go, hey, if you need someplace to hang out, come to my stream. Come to twitch.tv/myhappyself. I'll be streaming that day. I'm going to do the special stuff with the wife the day before because Wednesday's a work day and we got stuff to do anyway. So yeah, see, there you go. It doesn't even matter. I'm not even doing anything on Valentine's Day. All right. It's where your heart is. That's really where it counts. So, hey, if you need somebody to encourage you, you need a little bit of encouragement, a little bit of community, come hang out on my stream on Wednesday. That's an open invitation to all of you. And I'll wish you a happy Valentine's Day. All right. Well, thanks for joining me, everybody. And remember to check out Cameron Fath and The Debrief every Friday. I'm Izzy Wright. This has been your First Formation, and happy Valentine's Day.